Welcome to the Gentle English Podcast. I'm truly happy that you are here with me today. Before we begin, take a slow breath and gently exhale. Let your shoulders relax. This is your quiet place to grow your English and grow yourself at the same time. You don't have to rush. You don't have to be perfect. Just listen. Just be present. Let me ask you something softly but honestly. Have you ever wondered why some people walk into a room and immediately earn respect without saying very much? They are not loud. They are not arrogant. They are not trying to impress anyone. And yet, people naturally listen to them. People value their opinion. People treat them with dignity. What is it that they have? What is it that they do differently? Today, we are going to explore a powerful topic: how to win people's respect, like the top 1%. When we hear the phrase top 1%, we often think about money, luxury, or success. We imagine business leaders, celebrities, or powerful figures. But today, we are not talking about wealth. We are talking about character. The top 1% of respected individuals are not defined by their bank accounts. They are defined by their behavior, their discipline, and their quiet strength. Respect is one of the most valuable currencies in life. When people respect you, they listen. When people respect you, they trust you. When people respect you, they open doors for you. But respect cannot be demanded. It cannot be forced. It cannot be begged for. The moment you try to demand respect, you often lose it. True respect must be earned slowly, consistently, and authentically. So where does it begin? It begins with self-respect. Before anyone else can respect you, you must respect yourself. This does not mean thinking you are better than others. It means recognizing your own value. It means understanding that your time, your energy, and your boundaries matter. Many people struggle to gain respect because deep inside, they do not feel worthy of it. Self-respect is built in private moments. It is built when you keep promises to yourself. For example, when you say you will wake up early, and you actually wake up early, even if no one is watching. It is built when you say you will exercise, study, or practice something, and you follow through. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your internal trust. Internal trust is powerful. When you trust yourself, you stand differently. You speak differently. You make decisions differently. People can sense when someone trusts themselves. It creates a quiet confidence that does not need approval. The top 1% protect their self-respect carefully. They do not allow others to treat them poorly, but they also do not treat themselves poorly. They avoid self-destructive habits. They speak to themselves with encouragement instead of constant criticism. They understand that the relationship they have with themselves is the foundation for every other relationship in their life. Another key quality of highly respected individuals is emotional control. Emotional control does not mean being cold or emotionless. It means managing your reactions. Imagine someone insults you. One person immediately reacts with anger, shouting and losing control. Another person pauses, takes a breath, and responds calmly. Which person earns more respect? The second person does. When you react emotionally without control, you give away your power. But when you pause and choose your response carefully, you demonstrate strength. The top 1% understand that calmness is power. They do not allow temporary emotions to create permanent damage. In difficult situations, they remain steady. When others panic, They think clearly. When others complain, they look for solutions. This stability makes people feel safe around them, and people naturally respect those who create a sense of safety. Think about the leaders you admire. Most likely, they are not the loudest or most dramatic people. They are steady. They are composed. They do not allow small problems to disturb their inner balance. Emotional maturity is rare. That is why it is so valuable. Another important principle is consistency. Consistency means your words and actions align. If you say you value honesty, you must be honest, even when it is uncomfortable. If you promise to complete a task, you complete it. Many people lose respect because they speak beautifully, but act carelessly. The top 1% understand that reputation is built through repetition. It is not built through one impressive moment. It is built through hundreds of small, consistent actions over time. Imagine two people. One person gives a powerful speech about discipline, but frequently arrives late and misses deadlines. Another person does not speak much about discipline, but always arrives on time and delivers quality work. Which one earns more respect? The second person does. Consistency builds trust, and trust builds respect. Let us also talk about the power of listening. Many people believe respect comes from speaking confidently. While communication is important, listening is even more powerful. When you truly listen to someone, without interrupting, without preparing your response while they are speaking, you show that you value them. The top 1% are often exceptional listeners. They maintain eye contact. They nod gently. They ask thoughtful follow-up questions. They make the other person feel heard. When people feel heard, they feel respected. And interestingly, when you give respect, you often receive it in return. Listening also gives you an advantage. When you listen more than you speak, you gather information. You understand perspectives. You avoid unnecessary mistakes. Silence can be powerful. It shows comfort. It shows control. It shows that you do not need constant attention. Another important factor in earning respect is competence. Competence means being good at what you do. It means taking your responsibilities seriously. It means improving your skills regularly. You cannot expect respect if you are careless with your work. The top 1% invest time in learning. They read books. They practice their craft. They seek feedback. They are not satisfied with average performance. They aim for excellence. When people see that you are capable and reliable, they trust your judgment. And when they trust your judgment, they respect your presence. Competence creates confidence. Confidence creates authority. However, competence must be balanced with humility. Arrogance pushes people away. Humility draws them closer. The top 1% are confident in their abilities, but they do not need to prove their superiority. They admit mistakes openly. They give credit to others. They continue learning even when they are already successful. Admitting a mistake may feel uncomfortable, but it actually increases respect. It shows honesty. It shows growth. It shows that your ego is not controlling you. Now let us gently explore another powerful concept: boundaries. Many people lose respect because they are afraid to say no. They want to be liked. They want to avoid conflict, so they agree to things they do not want to do. They tolerate disrespectful behavior. They remain silent when they should speak. The top 1% understand that boundaries protect dignity. A boundary is not aggressive. It is clear. For example, if someone speaks to you disrespectfully, you can calmly say, "I prefer to be spoken to with respect." You do not need to shout. You do not need to insult. Calm firmness is enough. When you set boundaries, some people may resist at first, but over time, they adjust. You teach others how to treat you by what you allow. Kindness does not mean weakness. In fact, true kindness requires strength. It requires the courage to protect your peace. Another essential quality is integrity. Integrity means your private actions match your public words. It means you do the right thing, even when no one is watching. The top 1% do not live double lives. They are consistent in all environments. If you are honest, only when it benefits you, people eventually notice. But if you are honest, even when it costs you something, your credibility grows deeply. Integrity builds long-term respect. It may not create immediate applause, but it creates something stronger, trust that lasts. I want you to reflect gently. Think about your own life. In which area can you improve? Is it self-respect, emotional control, consistency, listening, competence, boundaries, integrity? You do not need to change everything at once. The top 1% did not become respected overnight. They built it day by day, choice by choice. Now, we will go deeper. We will explore advanced qualities such as presence, communication mastery, body language, accountability, long-term thinking, and the subtle habits that separate average individuals from deeply respected ones. Before we move forward, take another slow breath. Now, let us begin with presence. Presence is difficult to describe, but you can feel it immediately. Some people walk into a room, and the energy shifts, not because they are loud, but because they are grounded. They are fully there. They are not distracted by their phone. They are not scanning the room nervously. They are not trying to impress anyone. They are simply present. Presence comes from internal stillness. When your mind is not constantly worrying about how you are being judged, you can focus completely on the moment. The top 1% cultivate this skill intentionally. They practice being where they are. When they speak with someone, that person feels like the only one in the room. Think about how powerful that is. In a world full of distractions, full attention feels rare. And what is rare becomes valuable. When you give someone your full attention, you communicate respect. And when you consistently give respect, people return it. Presence also means being comfortable with silence. Many people rush to fill silence because they feel uncomfortable. They talk too much. They explain too much. They defend themselves unnecessarily. But highly respected individuals are not afraid of pauses. They allow silence to breathe. Silence gives weight to words. Silence signals confidence. Now let us explore communication mastery. Communication is not just about vocabulary or grammar. It is about clarity, tone, timing, and emotional intelligence. The top 1% understand that words can build or destroy reputations. They choose their words carefully. They do not speak impulsively. They do not overshare private matters. They do not gossip to gain temporary connection. Instead, they speak with intention. When they give feedback, they focus on behavior rather than attacking character. When they disagree, they do so respectfully. For example, instead of saying, "You are wrong," they might say, "I see it differently. May I share my perspective?" Notice how this invites dialogue instead of conflict. Respect grows when conversations feel safe. Tone matters deeply. You can say the same sentence in a harsh tone and create resistance, or say it calmly and create cooperation. The top 1% monitor their tone. They do not allow frustration to control their delivery. Clarity is another powerful element. Confusion weakens authority. If you speak in vague or inconsistent ways, people struggle to follow you. But when your message is clear and structured, people trust your thinking. Let us now talk about body language. Before you say a single word, your body communicates. Your posture, your eye contact, your gestures, even your breathing patterns send signals. The top 1% are aware of this. They stand upright, but not rigid. They maintain steady eye contact, but not in an intimidating way. Their movements are calm and controlled. They do not fidget nervously. They do not cross their arms defensively. Their body language says, "I am comfortable with myself." Confidence is often silent. It does not require dramatic gestures. It is seen in small details: a steady handshake, a relaxed but straight posture, slow, intentional movements instead of rushed actions. Even how you enter a room matters. If you walk in hurriedly, looking down, avoiding eye contact, people may unconsciously perceive insecurity. But if you walk in calmly, aware of your surroundings, making gentle eye contact, you signal composure. Remember, people form impressions quickly. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be intentional. Now let us explore accountability. Accountability is one of the strongest signals of maturity. When something goes wrong, do you immediately blame circumstances or other people? Or do you pause and ask, what was my role in this? The top 1% take ownership of their mistakes. They do not hide. They do not make excuses. They say, "I made an error. Here is how I will fix it." This builds trust faster than perfection ever could. Ironically, trying to appear flawless often damages respect. When you refuse to admit mistakes, people see insecurity. But when you own your actions confidently, people see strength. Accountability also applies to results. If you promise a deadline, you meet it. If you commit to a responsibility, you follow through. Reliability is rare. That is why it is respected. Let us gently move into long-term thinking. Many people make decisions based on short-term emotions. They react quickly. They speak carelessly. They chase immediate rewards. But the top 1% think beyond the moment. Before they act, they ask themselves, how will this affect my reputation in 5 years? Does this align with who I want to become? This long-term perspective guides their behavior. For example, they may avoid gossip even if it creates temporary bonding. They may decline unethical opportunities even if they promise quick success. They protect their future identity. Respect accumulates over time, like savings in a bank account. Every disciplined choice adds to your balance. Every careless action withdraws from it. Another subtle but powerful quality is social intelligence. Social intelligence means reading the room. It means understanding emotional dynamics. It means adjusting your communication style, depending on the situation without losing authenticity. The top 1% are observant. They notice when someone feels uncomfortable. They sense tension before it escalates. They know when humor is appropriate and when seriousness is required. They do not dominate conversations. They create space for others to speak. They introduce people to one another. They elevate group discussions instead of competing for attention. This creates influence, and influence creates respect. Let us also talk about patience under pressure. Pressure reveals character. when deadlines are tight, when criticism arises, when plans fail? How do you respond? The top 1% remain steady. They slow down instead of speeding up emotionally. Patience shows strength. It communicates that you are not easily shaken. When others see you remain composed in difficulty, they begin to rely on you. Reliability under stress is a rare quality. Another powerful habit is discretion. Discretion means knowing what to share and what to keep private. If someone trusts you with personal information, you protect it. You do not use it for social advantage. You do not repeat it casually. When people realize that their words are safe with you, their trust deepens. And deep trust leads to deep respect. Let us now consider generosity. Generosity is not only financial, it is intellectual and emotional. The top 1% share knowledge without fear. They mentor. They encourage. They celebrate others' achievements sincerely. Insecure people compete constantly. Secure people collaborate. When you help others grow, you increase your own value. Generosity signals abundance. There is also a quiet strength in restraint. You do not need to respond to every insult. You do not need to win every argument. Sometimes the most powerful move is no move at all. Choosing not to engage in negativity shows discipline. Restraint prevents unnecessary damage. It preserves dignity. It demonstrates control. Now we will go even deeper into the psychology of respect. We will explore inner identity, reputation management, quiet leadership, handling criticism, and how to maintain respect over decades, not just moments. For now, take another slow breath. Notice how earning respect is not about becoming someone else. It is about refining who you already are. It is about polishing your character gently and consistently. Why, so let us talk about identity. Identity is the story you tell yourself about who you are. If your identity is fragile, easily shaken by opinions, you will constantly adjust yourself to gain approval. But if your identity is grounded in values, you become stable. Stability creates respect. Ask yourself gently, who am I when no one is watching? Am I disciplined? Am I honest? Am I kind? The top 1% strengthen their identity privately. They develop habits that align with their future self. They do not wait for motivation. They act from principle. When your actions consistently align with your identity, confidence grows naturally. And this confidence is not loud. It does not need validation. It is quiet and steady. Now let us talk about quiet leadership. Leadership is not about position or title. It is about influence. You lead when you set an example. You lead when you stay calm during conflict. You lead when you take responsibility for mistakes instead of blaming others. People respect those who practice what they preach. When your actions reflect your words, your influence becomes natural. You do not need to demand authority. Your consistency creates it. Handling criticism is another powerful skill. No matter how disciplined or kind you are, you will face criticism. The top 1% do not allow criticism to control their emotions. They listen carefully. If the feedback is useful, they adjust. If it is unfair, they remain composed. Reacting defensively weakens your position. Responding calmly strengthens it. Emotional resilience shows maturity, and maturity builds deep respect. Let us also remember the importance of discipline in small details. Arriving on time, keeping promises, preparing before important conversations, speaking respectfully, even when stressed. These habits may seem small, but they shape how people perceive you. Respect grows when people see that they can rely on you. Reliability creates trust, and trust is the foundation of long-term respect. Finally, sustaining respect requires growth. The top 1% never stop learning. They remain curious. They adapt without compromising their values. They understand that respect is not permanent unless character is maintained. As we bring this series to a close, remember that respect begins within. It is strengthened by emotional control. It is expressed through consistent action. It is protected by integrity, and it is sustained by discipline over time. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be intentional. Imagine yourself months from now, practicing these principles quietly, listening more carefully, speaking more thoughtfully, acting more consistently. Over time, people will notice. They may not say it immediately, but they will feel it. And the most important respect you will gain is your own. Thank you for listening to this full series on the Gentle English podcast. I am grateful that you spent this time with me. Continue practicing your English gently. Continue strengthening your character quietly, and trust that with patience and consistency, respect will grow around you naturally. Until our next gentle conversation, take care of yourself and keep becoming the person you would respect the most.